So in the previous problem, we had to figure out the equation for this relationship, 2 red to every 3 gallons of blue. And looking at this table, they have kind of forced us that we're going to use red to figure out blue. Some of you may have been doing that equation in the previous one, thinking about the blue and computing the red. And so if you did that, you found out that if you use blue to get to red, your formula was red equals 2/3 of blue. But for this table, we are going to be using this relationship here, which is equivalent to this. We've just reversed it, inverse opt it. So instead of multiplying blue by 2/3, we're going to multiply red by the reciprocal of 2/3, 3/2. All right, so looking at the relationship, if I'm going from red to blue, I need to make sure that my blue value is 1.5 times bigger than my red. So I'm going to multiply it by 1.5. Some of you may want to multiply it by 3/2, just depends on your preference. Either way, you get the same thing. So 6 times 1.5 is 9. If you multiply this out, you cross cancel, you also get 9. Okay, our next one, if we have 6 and we're trying to go backwards, we're going to divide 6 by 1.5. So inverse ops has us doing the divide by 1.5 and we get 4. Now we're going forward here, so we're multiplying because our blue has to be 1.5 times bigger. And 1.5 times bigger when we multiply 20 times 1.5. Whoops, am I wrong tool? Whoa, I'm moving everything all over. Let me get it back in place. Sorry. We should get 30. Then we're going backwards, inverse ops, divide by 1.5, and 21 divided by 1.5 is 14. The other way you could have done this, if you didn't want to use the multiply and divide by 1.5 scenario, is you know that the rate is 3:2. So this is proportional because we're making a proportional table. So you could have simply just said, hey, if it's 3:2 and I have a 6 down here, what does this have to be for my first one? All right, you could have done equivalent fractions. It would need to be a 9 because you'd have to multiply the top and bottom both by 3. You could have done that for each of these. So then you have 3:2 is your given, and we want to create a 6 in the top. So what has to be in the bottom? Double that. So you got to double that, equivalent fractions. And then the 20 and 30, 3:2. You have to multiply by 10. That's where you get your 30. And finally, the 21 and 14 equals 3:2. Whoops, we don't know 14. Sorry about that. Got a little ahead of myself. 3:2. And you would have multiplied that by 7, so you'd have to multiply that by 7 to generate that 14. So you could have used equivalent fractions based on the ratio they started you with, or you could have found the formula and realized that to get from red to blue, we multiply by 1.5. To get from blue to red, we divide by 1.5. So those are 2 really good options for this table to be able to complete it. And that's it.